Hello, everybody. The text from the Epic of Gilgamesh. Now, the text of a Sumerian tablet from Ur containing part of a Gilgamesh epic, which was recently has hereto the presented so many difficulties that the painstaking student has left it with a sense of having missed the very essence of the story, forward and direct. However, the recent publication, which permit a more intelligent use than has hereto been possible, of two other partial duplicates known from other earlier publications, motivates the incidents described in the first 21 lines of the Earth, dated approximately at 2000 years BC, and going back to copies that are no doubt a good deal earlier. This reconstruction poem, which very possibly is known version of the slaying of the dragon myth, in belief man had been created after Anu, Enlil, and Ereshkigal had taken charge of heaven, earth, and netherworld after Enki had set sail for netherworld and the sea had raged and foamed in honor of its lords. On that day, a Huluppa tree, very likely a willow tree, which had been planted on the bank of the Euphrates, had been nourished by its water, was uprooted by the south wind and carried off by the Euphrates. A goddess, wandering along the bank, seized the floating tree, and at that word of Anu and Enlil, she brought it back to the garden in Europe. Inanna tended the tree carefully and lovingly, hoping to have made its wood a throne and bed for herself. After 10 years had passed and the tree, for enemy had placed his young in the crown, and but Gilgamesh, informed of Inanna's distress, rushes to her aid, making light of the weighty armor. The giant slays the dragon with his huge bronze axe, 7 talents and 7 minutes in weight. Thereupon the zoo bird flees with his young to the mountain, while Lilith, terror stricken, tears down her house and escapes to the desert. Gilgamesh had uprooted the liberated tree. His followers, the man of Europe, cut down its trunk and gave part of it to Inanna for her throne and bed. Under the remainder of the tree, Gilgamesh makes himself Puku and Miku, two wooden objects of magic significance. So it's talking about Gilgamesh destroying the tree of life. And the way people portray it is always going to be different. Why would the drums be magical? Because Gilgamesh was a shaman, because it was a tree of life. All of that has been censored out. You have to go and read other texts to get all of the info. So it's saying here, the next thing is going to be Gilgamesh and the Huluppa tree. I'm just finding a place in the actual Sumerian text. Um, some of it is in Sumerian language, and I can't read that. Okay, and okay, here it goes. These are the Sumerian translations in Sumerian. I can't read that part. I can only read the English. Um, this is that whole thing that I read, but it's in the Sumerian. And I mean, it's a long text, but I read it quick. But it had 100 lines in it. Yeah, this is actually all that there is to it. So that was all of the Gilgamesh and the Huluppa tree. It's a short poem. It's telling about him tearing the tree of life up. And so different ones wrote it differently. Now, this one that I have is called From the Descent of Inanna by Wolfstein and Kramer. Now, from the great above, she opened her ear to the great below. From the great above, the goddess opened her ear to the great below. My lady abandoned heaven and earth to descend to the under. In Zabbalam, she abandoned her temple to descend to the underworld. In Adad, she abandoned her temple to descend to the underworld. In Nippur, she abandoned her temple to descend to the underworld. In Akkad, she abandoned her temple to descend to the underworld. She gathered together the 7 me. She took them into her hands. With the me in her possession, she prepared herself. She placed the shigara, the crown of the steppe, on her head. She arranged the dark locks of hair across her forehead. She tied the small lapis beads around her neck. Let the double strand of beads fall to her breast and wrap the royal robe around her body. She daubed her eyes with ointment called Let Him Come, Let Him Come, and the gold ring under her wrist, and took the lapis measuring rod and line in her hand. And then it set out for the underworld. Nishabur, her faithful servant, was with her, and Nana to her, saying, Nishabur, my warrior who fights by my side, I am descending to the cure. Beat the drum for me in the assembly places. Circle the houses of the gods. Tear at your eyes at your... And Nana answered, because of my older sister of heaven has died, I have come to witness the funeral rites. Let the beer of his funeral rites be poured into the cup. Let it be done. Nettie spoke. Stay here, Inanna. Gatekeeper of the cure entered the palace of Ereshkigal, the queen of the underworld, and said, my queen, a maid as tall as heaven, as wide as the earth, as strong as the foundations of the city wall, waits outside the palace gate. She has gathered together the 7 me. She has taken them in her hands. With the me in her possession, she has prepared herself. Across her forehead, her dark locks of hair are carefully arranged. She wears the double strand of beads. Her body is wrapped into the royal robe, and her eyes are daubed with the ointment of Let Him Come. Around her chest, she wears the breastplate called Come Man Come. In her wrist, she wears a gold ring. In her hand, she carries the measuring rod and line. When Ereshkigal heard this, she slapped her thigh and bit her lip. She took the matter into her heart and dwelt on it. Then she spoke. Come, Nettie, my chief gatekeeper of the cure. Heed my words. Bolt the 7 crack. Let Inanna enter. As she enters, remove her royal garments. Let the only priestess of heaven enter bow low. Nettie heeded the words of his queen. He bolted the 7 gates of the underworld. Then he opened the outer gate. He said to the maid, come, Inanna, enter. When she entered the first gate, from her head, the sugar, the crown of the step was removed. From her body, the royal robe was removed. Inanna asked, "What is this?" She told, "Quiet, Inanna. The way of the underworld is perfect. They may not be questioned." Naked and bowed low, Inanna started towards the world, summoned her. They passed judgment against her. Inanna, the eye of death. She spoke against her word of wrath. She uttered against her the cry of guilt. She struck her. Inanna was turned into a corpse, a piece of rotten meat, and was hung from a hook on the wall. When after 3 days and 3 nights Inanna had not returned, Ninshibur set out and lament by the ruins. She beat the drum for her places. She circled the house of the gods. She dressed herself in a single garment and the temple of Enlil. When she entered the holy shrine, she cried out, "Oh, Father, Enlil, do not let your daughter be put to death in the underworld. Do not let your bright silver be covered with stonework. Do not let your fragrant boxwood be cut into wood for the woodworker. Do not let the holy priestess of heaven be put to death in the underworld, and Inanna grave the great below. She who receives the meat of the underworld does not return. She goes back to the dark city, stays there. Her father Enlil would not help. He gave the food of life to Kagura. He gave the water of life to Gullitur, saying, "Go to the underworld, into the doors like flies." Ereshkigal, the queen of the underworld, is moaning when the cries of a woman about to give birth. No linen is spread on her body. Her breasts are uncovered. Her hair cry also, "Oh, oh, you're inside." When she cries, "Oh, oh, my outside," cry, "Oh, oh, my outside." Ask her only for the corpse that hangs on the hook on the wall. One of you will sprinkle the food of life on it. The other will sprinkle the water of life, and the Nana will arise. The Kagura and the Gulatar heed the Enki words. They set for the underworld like flies. They slipped through the cracks of the gate. They entered the throne room of the queen of the underworld. No linen was spread on her body. Her breasts were uncovered. Her hair swirled around her head like leaves. Ereshkigal was moaning. "Oh, my inside!" They moaned. "Oh, your inside!" She moaned. "Oh, our outside!" She groaned. "Oh, oh, my belly!" They groaned. "Oh, oh, your belly!" She groaned. "Oh, oh, my back!" They groaned. "Oh, oh, your back!" They said, "No one's ascended from the underworld marked. If Inanna wishes to return from the underworld, she must provide someone in her place." As Inanna ascended from the underworld, the Gala, the demons of the underworld, clung to her side. The demons of the underworld clung to her side. The Gala were demons who know no drink, who eat no offerings, who take no libations, who accept no gifts. They enjoy no lovemaking. They have no sweet children to kiss. They tear the white children to kiss. They tear the white. They tear the child from the father's knee. Nana were like reeds the size of low picket fences. The large Gala who accompanied Inanna were like reeds the size of large picket fences. The one who walked in front of Inanna was not a minister, yet he carried a scepter. The one who walked behind her was not a warrior, yet he carried a mace. Nashibur, dressed in a soiled sackcloth, waited outside the palace. She threw herself in the dust at Inanna's feet. The goddess said, "Walk on, Inanna. We shall make Nishibur in your place." Inanna cried, "No, not Nishibur. She's my constant support. Sukal, who gives me wise advice. She's my warrior who fights by my side. She did not forget my word. She set up lament by my ruins. She beat the drum for me in the assembly places. Walk on to your city, Inanna. We will go with you to the big apple tree in Europe. In Europe, by the big apple tree, Dumuzi, the husband of Inanna, was dressed in his shirt. He sat on his magnificent throne. He did not move. The goddess seized him by the thighs. They poured milk out of his 7 churns. They broke the reed pipe which the shepherd was playing. Inanna fastened to Dumuzi's eye of death. She spoke against him. The word, take Dumuzi away. Who no drink, who eat no offerings, who drink no libations, who accept no gifts. Dumuzi they seized. They made him stand up. They made him sit down. They beat the husband of Inanna. They gashed him with axes. Dumuzi let out a wail. He raised his hand to the heaven, to Utu, the god of justice, and beseeched him, "O Utu, you are my brother-in-law. I brought milk to Ningal's house. I'm the one who carried the herb. I'm the one who danced on the holy knee. Who are you? Just a god, a merciful God. Change my hands into the hands of a snake. Change my feet to the feet of a snake. Let me escape from my demons." Dumuzi's tears. He changed the hands of Dumuzi. Dumuzi escaped from his demons. They could not hold it. They could not hold it. So that is Inanna's descent to the underworld. Okay, the next one I have is an Enki. That's a good one. Okay, so this will be at the, this is at the relation. Go to ETCSL homepage. And this is segment A, and there's 6 miles ahead. When she went out to the shepherd, to the sheepfold, her genitals were remarkable. Her genitals were remarkable. She praised herself, lied at her genitals. She lied at her genitals. She looked at. She didn't. I have made beautiful. When I have made perfect, made exuberant, when I return, when I have made brilliant, shall direct my steps to the absolute, to Iridu. I shall direct my steps to Enki, to the absolute, and I myself shall speak coaxingly. I myself shall speak convincingly to Enki in the absolute. You have 21 lines missing. Inanna, it is I intend to go to the absolute. I has instead intend to go to Iridu. I shall utter a plea to Lord Enki, like the sweet oil of the cedar, who will fight him who has had sex. Inanna, it is I who I shall utter a plea to Lord Enki. But all by herself towards Enki Apsu in Iridan. On that day, he who knows the divine powers of heaven and earth, who from his own Enki, the king of the Abzu, who even before holy Inanna had approached within 6 miles of the Absu, the temple of Eridu knew all about her enterprise and gave him instructions. Listen to my words. Some is missing. She will drink. She will eat. Come here. I will do the maiden, the Abzu, when the maiden Inanna has entered Eridu. When the maiden Inanna has entered the Abzu and Eridu, when Inanna has entered the Abzu and Eridu, after her butter cake to eat, let her be served cool, refreshing water. Pour beer for her in front of the lion's gate. Make her feel as if she's in her girlfriend's house. Make her as a colleague. You are to welcome holy Inanna at the holy table. After Enki had spoken thus, Ismu, the minister, followed his master's instructions carefully. He let the maiden into the Abzu and the Eridu. He let Inanna into the Abzu and Eridu. When the maiden had butter cake to eat, they poured cool, refreshing water for her. They gave her beer to drink in front of the lion's gate as a colleague. It came to pass about Enki and Inanna were drinking beer together in the Absu and enjoying the table. And two of them were started on competition, drinking the whole bronze vessels of Eurus. Lines missing. We will give him to holy Inanna, my daughter, may not. Holy Inanna received heroism, power, wickedness, righteousness, fame of my power. In the name of Absu, I will give them. Inanna received deceit, rebels, lands, kindness, being on the move, being sedentary. In the name of my prayer, in the name of my Absu, I will give holy Inanna, my daughter. Not holy Inanna received the craft of the carpenter, the craft of the coppersmith, the craft of the builder, the craft of the reed worker. In the name of my power, in the name of my Absu, I will give them to holy Inanna, my daughter. May not. Holy Inanna received wisdom, attentiveness, holy purification rites, the shepherd's hut, piling up glowing charcoals, the sheepfold, respect, awe, reverence, silence to holy Inanna, my daughter. May not. Holy Inanna received the bitter tooth, the killing fire, the extinguishing of fire, hard work, assembled family descendants. In the name of my power, in the name of my absolute, I will give them holy Inanna, my daughter. May not. Holy Inanna receive strife, triumph, counseling, comforting, judging, decision. Holy Inanna, my daughter. May not. Holy Inanna receive me the plunder of sea. He has given me making lamentation. He has deceit. He has given me the rebel lands. He has given me kindness. He has given me the mood. He has given me being sedentary. The scribe. He has given me the craft of the smith. He has given me the craft of the worker. He has given me the craft of the fuller. He has given me the craft of the builder. He has given me the craft of the reed worker. Rights. He has given me the sheepfold. He has given me the bitter tooth. He has given me the killing of fire. He has given me the extinguishing of fire. He has given me hard work. He has given me. He has given me the assembling family. He has given me the triumph. He has given me counseling. I'm going to quit here. It's a pretty long poem, and I'll get back with you in a little while. I'll come back, and when I come back, I'll be reading segment, and it'll be segment F of. So I'll talk to you then.